Morning everybody. Been off the grid for a few days. No big deal. I've just had like a basic airways illness, such as customary, I suppose, at this time of year. Seasons have changed quite quickly, quite dramatically. Gone from being really hot and summery to a shit ton of rain, and then the temperature has most definitely started to drop. So kids gone back to school and all that, so that's when you get ill, isn't it? So I've ended up getting a bit of an airways issue, and what I do, I thought I'd just share how I've handled it. So obviously, being interested in sort of health and strength and fitness and your mind and your body and all of these things, everything's connected. And I've got a sort of interesting take on like illness as a messenger, if you like. When you get ill, when I start to get ill, it's a sign to do something, right? So I end up, because I'm always checking in with my body. How do I feel? Since training with the kettlebells, it's been very important because my lower back and hip problems that I've had in my, especially over the last sort of 10 years, it's important that I'm continuously reviewing how my body's feeling, and I'm somebody that likes to do something about it if I don't feel quite right. So this is how I ended up training with kettlebells. But when I'm ill, it's the same thing. My body starts to feel a little bit unwell. I tend to feel it on my sinus first of all, and then I know something else is going to go down. So I've just been mega dosing, double dropping garlic as much as I can. I make like a roasted garlic butter that I smother all over a sourdough, and I just eat that all day, and especially later on in the night. I wouldn't normally eat all this bread, but I do this when I'm ill because, you know, and it's decent bread as well. I'll eat the sourdough. Get out of the way, as a stupid deal on a suicide mission. Go on, fuck. Just standing there on the road, crazy. Maybe he's got a head cold. Yeah, so I end up just mega dosing garlic. I also use like a nose flush. You can buy this like salty nose flush thing called a Neil's Med or something, and that will flush through your nose. I'm still using it now because my nose is still a little bit bunged up, so I'll use that now just to flush through my nose. And then I do things like breathing, and I just take some time to relax. But in my mind as well, it's time to just slow everything down. For some reason, I feel like the illness is giving me some sort of signal to just slow down. Perhaps my body and my mind are trying to adapt to the change in the temperature and the change in the weather and the change in the seasons. I don't fully understand it, I don't know, but I just go with it basically. Lots of rest. I don't like dossing around. I could become a proper mong quite easily, and I don't like when I do that. It's like a professional procrastination. I'm fucking brilliant at that. But and when I get ill, this is what happens to me. But I just go with it. I go into it and just fucking melt and do not much else. I've worked from home when I could, so as I could manage my diet and my rest times and put myself under as little pressure as possible. I did feel a bit better on the weekend, and I went over the gym and had a light move around in the gym. I didn't feel good when I went to the gym. I wondered whether I should be going or not, but I thought I'd just do it and see how I feel. And surprisingly, I had a really nice workout, actually, a really good workout. I felt really good, and then I had a nice jacuzzi and sauna afterwards, and that. It's a health club, so very nice. And I felt really good when I came home, and I thought that I might wake up the next morning like back to match fitness, to be honest with you, but I didn't. The next morning I woke up with my head cold was still there, my throat was still bad, still hurt to swallow, but my body did actually feel better. My body felt better, but I was still very aware that I was still unwell. So that was just an experiment that I did on Saturday. But yeah, I feel a lot better now. I feel like I'm about 90% good now, and I am going to go back down the gym tonight and crack on. Something else that happens as well is my back and my lower back and my hips feel very achy today, and that's because I've been dossing for the last couple of days and sitting down a lot and lying down, and just not, I feel like I've not been moving my core and my hips properly, so they've seized up a little bit. And again, this is another consequence of being ill, but you know, no bother. What I'll have to do tonight is some animal flow, some flow movements, have a really good warm up, and stretch off my back and my hips, open everything up, breathe and get my mind into it before I start working out. And I'll just do that, that's no problem. But I'm gonna probably use a 16 kilo kettlebell tonight, not a 20 or a 24, because I feel like I'm just getting into it, and that might be exactly what I need to do. And also something that I'm going to focus a lot more on now, I'm going to do more jumping, and my hamstrings are very, very tight, so I'm going to start to do the thing that I always avoid doing. I think I always avoid doing this because it's uncomfortable and I'm shit at it. My hamstrings are very tight. My lower back and my hamstring mobility, it's real bad. So I've really got to work on that. I really want that stuff to just loosen up, give up all the pressure, and just let me fold and bend myself and do you know, I have been working on it a little bit just recently, but I'm going to work on it more. I'm going to try and have a look and see if there's some actual sort of weight assisted exercises that can help with that. I'll have a look online today if I get some time, and I'll have a little ask around in the gym if there's anybody in there that I feel might be able to help me with that. I'll just ask them for a couple of little things that I can do. I'm sure there are, like, I'm sure there's some sort of like deadlifts you can do with dumbbells that can improve lengthening out my hamstrings and my hips. I'm going to do a bit of that. But yeah, that's the coup. Mostly better. Going to go back down the gym tonight. Going to start cracking on again. If you get ill, do you go down the gym? Anybody out there? If you're interested, I'm interested. What do you do? I like to use natural health. I like to try and put my body into a position to deal with the illness as best as it can. That's the way that I like to heal my body. I don't believe in, my personal belief is not in, I can take this pill and it'll solve the problem. That don't work for me. What works for me is placing my body in the best position to deal with this issue that's going on inside me. So for me, that's always some sort of natural method. So it's with my body and my mind, and with my breathing. That's the way that I try and ride that out. And there is another advantage, obviously, to it as well, is that when you get ill, and this is September, so we're just coming towards autumn, winter now, but it feels very autumnal now. My body now has already had a little taste of illness. It's had a little taste. So my body will be producing antibodies now against whatever it was. If indeed it was some sort of viral thing, my body will be producing antibodies against it. So I'm actually quite grateful that I've had the little taste of illness that I've got, that my body and my mind dealt with it the way that it did, because it didn't massively impede me. It didn't ruin me at all, nowhere near it. So yeah, I'm pretty happy. My theory is that the stronger and the more capable you are, and in your mind, the better you are at relaxing, when you do eventually get ill, you'll deal with it better. You'll find that illness, it gets everybody. Everybody can get ill, but it's the way that your body responds to that illness. That's fundamentally the thing that people should focus on. It's not the illness per se, it's their body's ability to deal with it. Yeah, that's the way that I deal with things anyway. That's me for the morning, and I shall update you with how the training session goes. Peace and love.